What I'm about to say may inevitably upset the delicate ego of some delusional, jacked up and juiced up bodybuilder out there, but I don't really care because it's 100% true. And that is that all of that muscle mass they've cultivated through traditional bodybuilding means doesn't mean shit if it's not trained to handle specific tasks or skills that are focused on performance instead of aesthetics. In other words, having a lot of muscle mass that isn't trained to perform doesn't make you as hard as you think you are. It's the truth. Look, I spent my entire 20s being an undersized, natural strongman competitor who consistently outlifted guys in the gym that outweighed me by 25 to 50 pounds and did so at sanctioned events as well, who were bigger and more chemically enhanced than me. And the reason I could do that is that I understood two simple training principles that 99% of guys today seem to consistently lose sight of. I'll talk about these two principles shortly and share with you a killer single sandbag workout you can do to boost strength, explosiveness, and stamina so that you don't just look like, but you perform like a badass. But before I do, let me share a little bit more insight about the difference between illusions and reality when it comes to looking like versus actually being able to impose your will on someone or something. You see, if you've ever done any competition lifting or especially combat sport, you have an all too intimate understanding of the saying that big isn't strong, strong is strong. Let me explain that to you. To the untrained eye, or to anyone on the street who just doesn't know any better, if you stood a competitive bodybuilder whose sole purpose is to be as large and lean as possible next to a competitive lifter or wrestler whose sole purpose is to move weight or move and control people, and ask them who is stronger, 12 times out of 10, they're gonna say the bodybuilder is. Look at them, they're huge. Here's the thing though, because their goals are completely different and how they train their body to achieve the adaptations they want to see are pretty much polar opposites, one being strictly aesthetics and the other being strictly performance, this is a classic case of your eyes deceiving you. Because I'm willing to bet my left nut that although the grappler or competitive lifter would be well out of their depths on stage in a Speedo flexing for some judges, the bodybuilder whose body is not trained for explosive total body movement or sustaining such activity would get folded like a chair if the roles were reversed. So I'll say it again, big isn't strong, strong is strong. And if you want to build muscle mass that can actually express itself with the type of total body, synergistic farm boy strength that doesn't paint you as the embodiment of all show and no go, then you gotta train your body to handle that type of stress so that it's forced to meet those demands in the future, whether that's on the mat, lifting platform, court, field, or anywhere else where performance matters more than aesthetics. And another thing I'll say about this is that it matters far less what type of weight or implement you use to train with, and far more how you're getting your body to move under the stress of that weight itself. Obviously, different weights or implements present different challenges, which yield different benefits, but at the end of the day, what matters most is the type of stress you put your body under and how your body handles that stress. Want to be faster, more explosive, and overall more athletic? Train like an athlete does and train in multiple planes and train your muscles and tendons to move in that faster, more explosive manner. Want to build insane strength? Lift heavy weights. Want to stop running out of gas in the middle of a pickup game or round of sparring? Condition yourself both physically and mentally to be able to have a higher red line and sustain it for longer periods by forging yourself in the fiery discomfort of those high volume, high intensity sessions where an elevated lactic acid level and an elevated heart rate are what you're pushing your threshold on. You essentially train your body to handle what you want it to handle better and more efficiently. And today, although I'm going to show you how to achieve all of that with a sandbag, all of this I just discussed can be just as easily accomplished with a kettlebell, a dumbbell, or a barbell. Just remember, when it comes down to it, you have to remind yourself of only two simple training principles. Number one, your training must reflect your goals. And number two, your body will only adapt to the specific stresses and demands that you place it under. Always keep those two principles in mind when putting together a workout, and I promise you'll continue to see the results that you're looking for in not just the looks department, but also, more importantly, the performance department as well. Now, enough talking, let's get to work. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I know it wasn't your conventional kettlebell training video that I typically put out here, but variety is the spice of life, and as I said earlier, it matters far less what you train with and more so how you train. So If you want some new, different type of training that doesn't just include kettlebells, but also other implements that can help you accomplish what you want in both the looks and the performance department, then let me know by what you want to see more of by commenting down below, and I'll do my part to hook you up with that footage so that you can hasten your accomplishment of the specific goals that you've got. And of course, before you take off, please, if you haven't done so already, then hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the video content that I put out on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, designed specifically to help you get the badass results that you want and deserve. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. Mandler out.